So I'm probably going to title this video something like the top 10 arena defense monsters in Summoners War, but honestly, it's so much more in depth than just that. We are, yes, going to talk about the top 10 arena defense monsters by the number of times that they are used, and this is not just midweek, this is for the end of Rush Hour where it matters. So we're going to go for the top 10, we're going to briefly discuss why they're in the top 10, and then we're going to take a look at the top 20, we're going to take a look at the top 30, we're going to also separate the LDs from that and see what the most popular LD ones are for defenses. There's all these toxic defenses we're going to see today. We're also going to see, as I just mentioned, a whole bunch of samples from, we're not going to see every single one, but we are going to see a bunch of samples from high-level top 100 arena defenses. Again, this is only the top 100. All of these samples that I'm showing you guys, all of the data is from the top 100 arena for Rush Hour, the end of Rush Hour. Not even the beginning of Rush Hour, the end of Rush Hour. So, disclaimer, data was collected from top 100 players at the end of Rush Hour on both Europe and global servers. Sample size approximately 120. It's a little bit more than 120 defenses. Roughly 2/3 on global and 1/3 on Europe. I just, whatever I could get my hands on is what I got my hands on to collect all the data. I want to get more, and I want to also include the other servers. I would have liked to get a larger sample size, including the other servers, and hopefully we'll do a follow-up video with 3 to 4 times the data, but I honestly expect it to be similar, with the exception of maybe more LD5s on China server, because we know China server loves the LD5. So let's get it started, and we will see. This is number 10, Vanessa. Pretty cut and dry. She has a 33% speed lead. Not everyone. There's only 3 regular not LDs. There's 3 regular non-LD speed leads. Oliver is not as good as the other ones for defense. Psamathe is better than Vanessa because Psamathe can come back from the dead and do a big AoE damage. But if you don't have Psamathe, a lot of people are using Vanessa. If they don't have another fire threat, they may want Vanessa for one reason or another over Psamathe. But yeah, number 10 is Vanessa. If she didn't have the 33 speed lead, she would not be anywhere on this list. Number 9 is Molly. Molly's that RNG chance of landing a glancing hit, which may just nullify the damage that your arena offense does. Number 8 is Nana, which we all know. She's got the defense break, right? She's fast base speed, can come with aggressive. Team with Nana also can come in like team turn 2. If you get nuked, she revives something back from the dead. Can't be cooled down. She can be Oblivion, but she can't be cooled down. Number 7, Psamathe. We already kind of discussed why Psamathe. He comes in, he's got the 33 lead, he's fast and aggressive, even if he doesn't take turn 1. If he takes turn 2, he comes back from the dead, he nukes the enemy team. Maybe he kills some stuff, maybe he doesn't. Number 6, Savannah. This is actually something that I was surprised to see. I mean, we knew that she was going to be somewhere in like the top 25, but I was surprised to see her number 6 on the list. She basically has 2 lives. She's got AoE defense break, attack gauge pushback. She is not in the tanky stall team. She is in the fast, aggressive Psamathe or Vanessa plus some kind of swift unit, like for example Triton or Clara, to come in and strip the team, and then she does attack gauge pushback and AoE defense breaks. So I was just surprised she was number 6. I'm not surprised she was high on the list. I figured she might be like 12, right? So I'm surprised she was number 6. Number 5 is Karnal. One of the nice things about Karnal is you can use him. He's got a 44 HP lead, so he's got basically the best HP lead for a rainbow element team. Like, there are units that have higher HP leads, but they're like Archangels, right? Archangels, they're chimeras, so Karnal has an HP lead for everyone in Arena, not just specifically fire units. You can use him in a turn 2 bruiser team. You can use him in a fast, aggressive turn 1 team. So he's got a lot of flexibility as far as that's concerned. No surprise to see him in the top 10. Number 4 is Halphas. So this unit is not the most threatening unit. The only thing about him is he is an annoying Rush Hour defense unit. At the beginning of Rush Hour even, you would see less of him. The further Rush Hour goes, people switch out some different faster aggressive things for Halphas because he's a skipperino unit. You're going to want to skip the defenses with Halphas. He's not really a threat. He's more of a annoyance more than anything else. If you had your time, if this was inter-server, you would not, this Halphas would be destroyed all the time, constantly. But so he's not a great inter-server unit, but he is a good arena defense at the end of Rush Hour unit. Triton, number 3 on the list. Math Plus Games, man, he really called it, which, I mean, a lot of people kind of figured that he was going to be super OP when he got his speed buff. Not a speed buff. He got his base speed changed in a balance patch, which just made him go from not really being used too much to insane meta arena defense unit. You can still bring Leo against him if he's not on will runes, but a lot of times he's on will runes. People have him super ridiculous, blazing fast for defense. Number 3, Triton. I'm kind of surprised he's number 3 because I felt like Clara was going to be a little higher on here, and then like I felt like he was going to be definitely higher than Clara, but I was surprised to see how much higher than Clara he was. Then we have number 2 is Abellio, which I think maybe a lot of people, I think anyone high level knows that he's used all time, but I think people that are maybe lower level and maybe coming back to the game, they're like, Abellio got buffed. For some of you that are returning, Abellio got buffed, so now he's going to cleanse himself and cut in. So pretty toxic unit. Number 1 on the list is Kinki. So Kinki was used in, I think, a third of the defenses total. Ridiculous. I mean, you have a few options against Kinki, but he nullifies all of your damage dealing teams, and he can solo teams. He can solo offenses if he feels like soloing offenses. If he's the last one standing and you have some support units and 1 damage dealer, he's going to keep revenging. You have to hit him. He's going to keep revenging. He's going to keep defense breaking. He's going to keep stealing health, and he's generally built with a crap ton of resistance, so he resists bombs if you try to bomb him. But you can use him in a bruiser team. You can also use him in a fast aggressive team like Psamathe, Triton, Savannah, and Kinki, for example, or Psamathe, Clara, because too much wind. But Psamathe, Clara, Savannah, Kinki, for example. You can still bomb him. You can still cocky him. You can still do pure damage against him. He can't be crit on, and he's gonna keep revenging. He's just super annoying. So this is the number 1 most used unit. He's an LD. Most used LD unit for rush hour defenses. So here is the top 10 most popular overall arena defense units right there, just in case you want to list. There's also this where we can see a little bit more. So this is based on a little bit over 120 matches, or 120 matches, 120 defenses that I sniped during the end of rush hour. Again, 42 for Kinki. That's ridiculous. Like, if you look at Kinki versus, like, something that's, like, 20 down on the list, it's like Juno, like, 7. Like, it's night and day. It's, like, nowhere even close. Kinki, Abellio, Triton, Halphas, Karnal, Savannah, Psamathe, Nana, Molly, Vanessa. More, I was actually surprised he was in here a little bit more than I thought he would be. I just see him as a Lucian food. However, it depends on the team. We're going to take a look at some teams where you can't really Lucian as much, so you'd be wanting to take like a Triton in or something else, and like, okay, more is going to be toxic against that. Triana, Clara, Swift Clara, the light Pioneer right over here. Can you guys see that? If you can't see that, Light Pioneer is actually the most. Light Pioneer and Tianlang. Not surprised with Tianlang. Light Pioneer is also another one of the most used LD5s, or the most used LD5. Those two are number 1 for LD5s in the game. Ariel, over here with 10, Juno with 7, Darian with 6, Alexandra, Perna, Geldnir, Nephthys, Nora, Rakan. Everything else over here is like, we're getting down into the 5s and the 4s and the 3s over here. So this is the end of rush hour. This is the top. This is the top of the global, and this is the top of the Europe at the end of rush hour. So we can see a little bit of it. Oh, I gotta zoom this chart out. So if you can't see, we got Kinki, Abellio. It like falls off so fast. It's not. It's very obvious what the meta is. It's not. It's like, oh well, you got a whole bunch of Asimas and Zeraths and Reteshes. It's like, no, it's not like you would use these and these. Like for RTA, I want to say it's kind of a different story, but Oliver's like everywhere at RTA. Karnal's like everywhere at RTA. We would see a little bit less of a steep one for RTA because there's more things viable. For arena defense, it's pretty cut and dry what's viable. This is the arena defense. It's pretty obvious. It's pretty aggressive. Most use light and dark in Ad 5, so number 1 and number 2, the Light Pioneer. I gotta say Light Pioneer instead of his actual name because I don't want to get flagged because YouTube thinks that I'm saying something else. Tianlang, the Light Panda Warrior. Tied over here. 3 is Nyx, 4 is Alexandra, 5 is Geldenir. He just heals up. You know, you do big damage to different things. If you don't kill, he's just going to heal them up. 6 through 9, all tied for the same amount of use. 10 through 14. Again, I would love to have a higher sample size, a bigger sample size, because I feel that would get, these wouldn't be tied if we had a bigger sample size. We could see like exactly what's, but you get some food for thought. You get some ideas like, oh, I have one of these, I have one of those. Maybe I could use this for my arena defense. Maybe I could use that. So then we can also see kind of the data over here, very much in favor of Tian Lang and Light Pioneer. There we go. I think we are on to the defenses now. So this may have gotten legend on global server at the time that I was taking a look at this. So this is, he was legend. I don't know exactly who got legend, but at the very end, he was the one that was showing as legend for me. And then we have, so it's just Psamathe is super fast, control, and then he's here to revive everything, right? And you know he's got super crazy runes on that Triton, and you know he's got to have had it on Will as well. This is rank 2. This could have been switched at the very last minute. This is Summoner's War, this is Rush Hour, crazier things have happened. So crazier things have happened where people that were like down, you know, 50 points, magically we're number 1 legend by like with a 30-point lead. It's like whoa, how'd you get all those points at the last minute, buddy? I'm not saying this person specifically, I'm saying other people in the past there's been issues with Rush Hour, but this is another one. He's gotten legend. This one has gotten legend plenty of times, this player. So here is some more. We got some Tian Lang, we got some more. Here's some more. Literally, this is not necessarily, I don't know where they were. I just wanted to show you guys these are the top 2 on global anyway. Then we got some Tian Lang, we got some Nana, we got some Triana. I was surprised at, I'm never surprised to see Psamathe and Tian Lang ever. I was surprised at some of these other ones. The Sekhmet, there are actually a few, even back in the day, there were a few Tian Lang Sekhmet Vanessa teams that got legend. I think even they were cloning some, but yeah, those were getting. There was a few that looked like that got legend. Now we're just gonna see so many Abellios. Even more, I noticed that the Abellio actually. What was the actual numbers? Let's go back. No. Some of these definitely pumped up more. Like Halphas was number 2 when only global was calculated. Halphas was number 2, and then Abellio knocked up based on the Abellio got knocked up based on the Europe numbers. I don't know if that's the correct phrasing, but we can see some more. This, I just want to show you guys some of these as food for thought if you guys are thinking about like, what should I do for my arena D? I'm always concerned with these with the Leos on the defense, because I'm like, the Leos can be, you know, you can just capoeira against the against Leo. Leo Light Demon is a different story, but also there's no strip here. So that's one of the reasons I'm kind of surprised by this defense specifically, is you could take a Shield Bolt Cleave team into that. And if it's not like this, if it doesn't look like this, then you could take a Nemesis Megan into, double Nemesis Will Megan into Leos on defense. So then we have, this is kind of surprising. Also, it's surprising. Maybe it shouldn't be surprising. It feels surprising at first when I'm like, wait a second, these defenses are super high, but they don't have RTA wings. It's like, not everyone plays RTA. Some people just really like Arena, and they don't like RTA. That's the thing. It's just so some of these just don't have wings because they don't have wings. And then what do we have? This is, we're gonna see a whole lot of 33 speed leads and Tritons and Kinkis and 33 speed leads, some LDs. One of the reasons, okay, so some of you may be asking, why not more Gianna? Why not more Ragdoll? Gianna, Ragdoll are very strong in, well, Ragdoll's even less strong in RTA lately. He's still plenty fine. He's still used all the time. Gianna is very strong, even though she, you know, there's things that are strong against her. But one of the things for arena defense is Gianna's base speed is kind of working against her for arena. Triton has much higher base speed, so you can just outspeed Gianna and not really worry too much about it. For Ragdoll, you can just Kaki. right? So you could just Kaki the Ragdoll, you could just bomb the Ragdoll. So you have more options for Ragdoll. Ragdoll used to be super OP for arena defense. He was definitely a cheat code. Now, not quite so much. Now, it's easier to deal with Ragdoll teams. So Ragdoll teams have kind of been phased out of arena defense. So that's why you don't, now that we see Ragdoll, but you're not going to see a whole lot of Ragdoll. Like he wasn't even in the top most used, where he used to be like a couple years ago before the Onimushas. My desk is so dirty. I don't know why. Before the Onimushas came out, Ragdoll definitely would have been on this list for sure. He would have been like number 1 or 2 probably. LDs being used. We see some more. This is kind of an interesting. They have some units that are fast and aggressive, like these two fast and aggressive, and then these two are tanky. But this guy, the Moor, can just be a tanky unit. He can be built tanky. So just interesting. We have we have one of these. We have one of those. I feel like I would try to hit something like this, although the nicks in there could make it kind of annoying. We could do a speed lead and Tiana though against this. Speed lead Tiana, and we could do a Ganymede. That's maybe something that I would try to do against that. What do we have for this one? We have, I mean, this is not going to outspeed necessarily. The Juno is going to be super fast, but you could still outspeed this. Molly glancing could come into play. You never know. We got some twins here. We're not going to see too much of the twins. I think there was only 2 twins bases. Not 2 twins bases. I'm serious. The Guild Siege. 2 twins defenses that got calculated. So we see some more, and we see little Guardian Thing Thang, little Guardian skin over here. But I just want to show you guys some different. We'll go over them faster. We got some more speed lead and swift stripper. Speed lead, swift stripper, AoE defense break, cooldowns, and damage. Then we have speed lead, stripper, AoE defense break, cooldowns, and damage. And then we have, what is this? Speed lead, stripper. This could also retwist the turn order. Change the turn order if he strips something and attack gauge absorbs them and doesn't strip the other one, so your defense breaker could move after your. Same kind of situation with Triton. Things could resist, things could not resist, so he could change the turn order of your team. Moore can do kind of the same thing. So, but this is very heavy on the revive. So if this was an inter-server, this would be an easy team to hit. You just bruise this out and bring things that stop reviving. For this one, this might be a super fast Swift Celia. She does have very, very fast base speed. Kind of a weird to see Celia, I think, but you know, in some situations she works. This is just super, super, super tanky. One of the times that we see Camila, some people still use Camila, but she's definitely less used. Now that you got the cocky, I think it's just cocky. Now that you got the cocky, and that's about it. Now that you got the cocky. Again, speed lead, AoE, swift stripper. We have AoE defense breaks, and we have some damage there. That's about it. Speed lead, AoE stripper, AoE attack power buff, and also some big damage. Additional damage, multi-hits, artifacts, and then some damage there. So that's still going to do a pretty decent amount of damage because this kind of ignores defense between the two of these. Her with the artifacts, and then this one with his passive. And then we have speed lead, AoE stripper, AoE defense break, you guys, and then the AoE damage, right? You guys get the idea. But damage, but also not that as much damage as a Kaki would do, but also he's got that tanky solo potential threat kind of thing. This one's a little bit wacky. Gotta say, this one's a little bit wacky. This is a little different. We got the Achroma there. This is, I think, the only Vivachel base. Not base, it's not a base. It's not a base. We got the speed lead Triton, AoE defense break, and then so this has turn 1 potential. Also, it has turn 2 potential because Lydia's going to be tanky enough to survive things, and then she's going to come in. She's going to blast everyone. Things are going to come back from the dead. He's going to prevent his own death. So should be both turn 1 potential and turn 2 potential. This I feel like a couple months ago. We would have seen more of these, but I think people are just getting used to hitting these at this point. So this was just a whole bunch of LD5s. Just a whole bunch of LD5. Sometimes that's just an advantage, even if they're not the most meta LD5s. Just having LD5s makes someone think twice about how to hit it, and they may not be prepared to hit it specifically. So this could be just on Swift, right? Because you got the speed lead, and then you could just be on Swift, increase everyone's attack gauge, buff everyone's crit resist and defense buff. So, and then we have this one, another. This is kind of similar. I think either this defense or a similar defense got legend last week on Europe, I want to say. Could be wrong. This is odd. He's guaranteed to stun. It's just an odd one. It really is. Although I think, is he activating Psamathe's passive? Like when he does, like so we gotta assume that this is gonna be Swift, right? And then strip and absorb the attack gauge, and then this one comes in and stuns, or this one resets, and then this one stuns, and then maybe it kills Psamathe, and then Psamathe. I'm kind of curious. I am really kind of curious how that one works, but apparently it did well. And then we have, this is, I think, possibly the only Praha. Maybe we saw two. I think this might be the only Praha that we saw up here, though. This one just 33 speed lead. Stripper, this is also going to stop Tianas and Bernards and Ashirs and things like that from hitting it, right? So, because if it wasn't for the Tian line here, you could just take a Chiwu, Ashir, Galleon, and X, like Poseidon. I know people are using Poseidon now. You could take Alicia as well. You could take a few different things. This one was this was an odd one. I gotta say, I was not expecting to see this up here. First off, the Wusa. Second, the Charlotte. Really surprised to see this one. This is kind of an oddball, but it's definitely up there. Then we see this is a 33 speed. This is just damage mitigation. There's death prevention. There's death prevention with the Triana. There's revive with the Vanessa. The Savannah has 2 lives. So if you had if this was inter-server and you had your time, you could just take Rocky and you don't have to worry about it. It's like an easy win. But for arena defense, you might want to think twice. Although you could still Zyros this, man. You could still Zyros. I'm just saying. What do we have for this? You can still outspeed it. For this one, we have, again, a 33 speed lead. We have a Swift Clara. Then we have AoE defense breaks. And we have some kind of sustain. So AoE defense breaks and then nukes and resets. You don't know if she's going to violent proc or anything. You know she's going to violent proc. What do we have? 33 speed lead. AoE stripper, super fast on Swift. Then we have the AoE damage dealer that also turns cycles. Then we have the solo potential. You know, the Kinki is just Kinki. You got Kinki, you stick them on your arena defense. That's all we've learned from this whole video. I think we only saw 2 Asimas. This one's another odd one. Apparently it worked. You see the little things over here. Apparently it worked. It's just odd. It's just, I was not expect. There's a couple that, like, I'm like, oh, okay. So that's interesting. That is interesting. Yeah. Maybe they got, you know, it could just be that some of these defenses have super fast offenses. Maybe that's the situation. Also, some people that have super crazy good LDs for offense, even with a less meta, less aggressive, less kinky arena defense, they could still climb because they have a really fast, effective arena offense. So, what do we have here? We got the AoE strips. We got the big damage. Oh, these LDs. Oh, these toxic LDs. We have a speed lead. We have strip. This, though, I don't understand. Like, this was in the top 100 at Rush. This was the top 100 at Tally. I don't know if this is on purpose to trap people with the Vanessa here instead of the Halphas lead. This is an anomaly. I feel like this should, personally, emotionally, I want to take this completely out of the, just because the speed lead is bugging me. The 33 lead not being in the 33 lead spot is bugging me, that I want to take this out. But maybe, you know what? Maybe the situation was that, like, they had something else and they just switched it to Vanessa super fast at the very end. I don't know. Or switched something else to Halphas at the very, I really don't know. Maybe there's a reason for it. But yeah, I really don't know. Then we have, it bothers me. But we have my core. This one, though, there's no strip here. So you still could take a turn 2 bruiser team, shield will bruiser team into this. We have the control, we have the AoE defense breaks, we have the damage, and then we have, this is just, these are 2 little annoyances, right? But you could just take a shield will cleave team into this. So I'm kind of surprised. So, I mean, some of these I'm just kind of surprised to see that we have this. This is actually similar to, just a speed lead annoyance, super fast control, and AoE defense breaks. I'm sure this is going outspeed with the Triton, AoE defense break, and then the big control there. This way he potentially kills some stuff and stacks Nana again. What do we have after this? We have, I mean, we're seeing a lot of the same stuff, though. We really don't need it. This one's a little bit different, all right? We are seeing a lot of the same stuff. This one's also a little bit different. They're gonna outspeed, they're gonna strip, they're gonna defense break, and then they're gonna do big damage with the Kinki, right? So some of these a little bit different. Some of these a little bit different, but for the most part, we see outspeed and kill something and then make it this one also. Well, Perna does strip now, but still you could take a turn 2 shield will cleave team into this though. That's just my logic there. So we're seeing a lot of some of these I find a little bit odd, but we don't need to nitpick too much. This also, the Oliver, I think the Oliver is just there because they didn't have a better speed lead. Because just the other speed leads are, Oliver is god tier in RTA, but for regular arena defense, just Psamathe's best, Vanessa's second best, Oliver's third best for regular arena defense. It's kind of the opposite order for RTA, but which is good. I feel like it's kind of balanced if it gets flip flopped in one content to another. So some Nora, some more Nora. Oh yeah, got some Darian, got some more fairly standard outspeed, strip, defense break, and then we got some sustain, right? Some sustain, some noise. I was actually expecting to see more of this. More of the Dark Pioneer. Didn't see too much crazy Dark Pioneer. Tableau, I think, is the only Tableau one. What else do we have? More outspeeds, basically. If you got this, just run this. That's what we've learned today. All right. We didn't see too many Bellinus, actually. We see some more of these. We see some more of those. It's fairly cut and dry. You can pause these at any point. You pause the video at any point if you want. But yeah. This is still control. Like, he has the AoE control, the AoE provoke now. So this is still outspeed, strip, and then AoE provoke. So, yep. There we go. And that is, did we already see the LDs? Yeah, we already saw the LDs. Okay, so that is, going back to what we saw at the very beginning. Top 10 most popular overall arena defense units. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's it for the 27 minutes. Well, most of it we were just taking a look at different defenses and I was complaining about things. So anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys got something out of it. I will see you as always in the next one.